I'm about to hit that plus and follow, subscribe button.
What is going on, everybody? So the other day, I went to Bass Pro looking for something new. I went to check out their surf rods, reels, and baits, and I came across an interesting rod. This is the Breakwater surf fishing rod by Offshore Angler. This is a Bass Pro store brand, and I was like, you know what, this is an interesting rod. How much is it? And I looked at the specific model, which is a 10 foot, and it was $79.99. I was like, wow, it's cheap. And then I looked at the components. What? This is 80 bucks. So I picked it up out of curiosity. I want to do a review on it, especially nowadays. You know, people are budget conscious. It's tough. So I was curious. Let me pick it up. Let me test it out, do a review on it, and let's see what we got here. So upon inspecting it and upon using it, I was really surprised at what this rod offers. Really. So this rod comes in an 8 foot to 12 foot version and spinning and casting. The 8 foot is rated 3/4 to 2 ounces, which is a small lure rod. The 9 foot, 1 to 4 ounces, which is perfect for chunking lures out there. They have the 10 foot, 1 to 5 ounces. The 11 foot, 3 to 6 ounces. From 10 feet and up, you get the bait chunkers. And then you got the 12 foot, 4 to 8 ounces. That's going to be your heavy stick right there. So I got the 10 foot. Let's check it out. Let's do a review. Let's see how good this rod is. Come on, 80 bucks. What are you asking for in $80? Not much, but I was surprised at how much this rod has to offer.
Let's set it up. Let's cast it out real quick. And this is an RT1 graphite blank. So from what I've read and from what I've been told, Penn actually makes Bass Pro's rods. So here it is, the Breakwater. We're gonna put a reel on there and see. I'm gonna put my Daiwa Ballistic and I'm gonna put this on here to match. I should have had red line on here, but red line turns all pink and stuff. It doesn't look nice. Check it out. Daiwa Ballistic. We're gonna put a quick Carolina rig on here. We're gonna cast out 3 ounces and some bait. See how it feels. Oh, what was that? Is that a mullet? Man, I haven't seen a mullet in weeks. Now we got 30-pound Yozuri braid on here, quality braid. And we're gonna put some crab and hopefully land a black drum. That'd be the ultimate test to actually catch a fish on it. So sometimes it's, you know, I'm really iffy about buying really budget stuff because a lot of it is really cheap throwaway. This here might be, I don't know if it's a cheap throwaway, but we're gonna find out soon. And there's a phrase in Spanish. The phrase is "lo barato sale caro." Translated to English means the cheap things turn out to be expensive because you have to replace them. You know, when I buy budget things, I buy, like, here's a budget rod in my opinion. This is the Daiwa Coastal SP surf rod. I've had this since 2014. This was $150, all Fuji components, the lowrider guides. I've had it since 2014 when it first came out. 2021 now. All right, so let's get a close view. This is a 10 foot 2-piece Breakwater. I got this one for 80 bucks. It has some nice touches to it. It has the X shrink wrap tubing. And here's where it gets better. This has Fuji components. You're not gonna see that very often on budget rods. You're not gonna see that very often. They like to use cheap reel seeds that break. I can tell you there's a few surf rods that are 250 bucks, over $200, that do not offer quality components. This $80 rod has it. Check it out. Here are the guides. And these guides are actually Fuji guides also. Like I said earlier, you're not gonna see a lot of rods with quality components in this price range, but this rod has them. Check it out. See if you can see the Fuji right there. It says Fuji right there. So all the guys are Fuji, all of them. And here's the tip. This is a Fuji tip also. Check that out. Like I said earlier, you're not gonna see a lot of rods in this price range with quality components. They go cheap. They cut the cost just to keep the rod cheap. Like I said, earlier, there are some rods that are 200 bucks and above that do not have quality components for some reason. I have no idea. For that price range, you should always get quality components. I have a Lamiglass Insane. That's their budget rod. It does not have Fuji components. I don't even know what kind they are. It might be Pac Bay. Pac Bay are pretty good, but they're not as good as Fuji. See, check that out. Fuji right there. It's important because see, when you get cheap guides, they break. The inserts break. And you're gonna have to get a whole new rod because honestly, it's not even worth replacing the guides on a lot of these budget rods. You might as well get another one. You know, people like to get budget stuff like Daiwa beef sticks. Man, those things ain't worth the stuff. They're gonna break. You know, honestly, I like buying budget things, but like budget things come at a cost, and they're gonna break on you. But see this one here, 80 bucks, quality guides. The blank seems pretty heavy. It might be pretty strong. We'll find out. We're gonna cast it out in a little bit and hopefully try to catch a fish. But at least with Bass Pro, you can take it back and they'll give you a new one or give you a refund. All right, we're gonna give it another cast. We got bait on here. We're casting about 5 ounces here, okay? So let's give it a nice cast. So I did some measuring. About halfway over there, it's about 80 something yards. Where that yellow sign is, that's about 125 to 150 yards. It's far. I can probably get that out there without the bait on there, but I mean, what's the point? You need to know how to cast. You want to cast far with bait, so let's do it. Let's cast this out there. Look at that. Boom. That was a nasty slap. I hope my bait's still on there. That was a good cast, so that's about 80 yards actually. Yeah, it was like towards like, that was about like a little bit past the middle. Bah! I heard that slap, man. I hope my craft's still on there. That didn't sound good. But anyways, that's a good cast right there. And it casts really well. It handles big weight pretty good. At least on the top end of what it's rated for. So far, I like this. You know what? As a matter of fact, this would be a great jetty rod. If you want to cast some big spoons, some big swim baits at the jetties when you're fishing for jacks and bull reds, I think this is going to be the perfect setup for that type of fishing. Easily. Big spoons. We got about 5 ounces here. We switched the weight to 3 ounces. And now we have a crab, so we're pretty heavy on here on the heavy end side, okay? But see, I'm gonna do a max loaded cast here because I want to see how it handles when it's close to being fully loaded actually. All right, so here we actually changed the weight to 3 ounces, and we have half a crab, a big crab actually, with some of the claws remaining. So we're casting about 5 ounces. We're gonna cast it really hard. I want to see what happens when you cast this loaded to the max. It could possibly be overloaded also, okay? So this is the 1 of 5 ounces. That's gonna tell us how it's gonna behave. And then we'll cast without the crab, which is gonna be around 3 ounces. That is something that you're gonna be referencing to when you're buying spoons, if you wanna do some jetty fishing with this rod, okay? So here we go, 5 ounces. Hopefully I don't deglove my thumb here, because this is max, and I'm using 30-pound braid. All right, let's give it a powerful cast here, see what happens. Handled it like nothing. Wow. Man, that's pretty good. That felt really good. We're over there. We're about at the edge of the channel over there. So let's see. Let's give it a quick measurement real quick. Reference, we're gonna pull out avionics and do a quick measurement. We're right at the edge over there, so it's probably about 90 yards with bait on there on a 10-foot store rod. That's crazy. Let's check it out real quick. So we're right here. So we got about right here. It was before the edge there. So it's 317 feet. Let's convert that to yards. Feet to yards. So we got a 105-yard cast with bait on there. Fully loaded at 5 ounces. That's pretty good. That's really good for a store brand. That's really good for a store brand rod. Wow. If you had a spoon, you would be bombing this wave super far. You know what, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and take the bait off. Man, it's gonna take forever. We gotta reel it in 105 yards. It's an estimate. Right. 3 ounces. So we're simulating a spoon. As a matter of fact, I think the spoon might be more aerodynamic than this. So I'm gonna see if I can get close to that sign over there. That sign is past the barrier over there. If we can pass that sign up, then we're getting well over, I don't know, that's probably 150 yards or so. Something like that over there. So let's see what happens. 5 ounce, this is 3 ounces now by itself. Oh my God, look at that. I know where that's at too. Oh, that's right next to the sign. Look at that. That is right next to the sign. All right, that's 3 ounces. That was, let's see, a little bit right next to the sign actually. And the sign is actually marked here with a barrier, with a little red line here. So let's just give it 450 feet. 443 feet, all right. 151 yards. 151 yard cast with a store rod and a double ballistic. This is not a long distance casting reel at all. If we had a longer spool, we had like an Ultegra or something like that, a Spinfisher long cast, we would be going way past that sign.
Well, that's it. This wraps up my review. The final verdict is I really like this rod. This is a 10-foot model for $80. Great rod. You're not gonna find anything under 80 bucks. That's gonna be just as good as this one. You're not gonna find a lot of surf rods that are under $100 with quality components, all Fuji components, the guides and the reel seat. There's rods from $100 to $200 that do not offer quality components. There are rods from $200 to $275 that do not offer quality components. I have no idea why, and the prices of the rods are continuously going up and up and up. Do not be fooled. You need quality components. Don't let the company skimp out on that. This $100 rod has everything you need, whether you're going to be fishing from a river or you're going to be bank fishing, jetty fishing, surf fishing. They have a vast array of rods to suit your needs. This is a great budget rod. If I were budget conscious and I was looking for a budget rod to use, this is what I would get right here. The Offshore Wrangler Breakwater. The final verdict is I like it. Get it. If you're looking for a budget rod, this is it.